Sewing darts is an essential skill in transforming fabric into beautiful form-fitting garments. Today, we will be walking through the steps of marking, pinning, and sewing the perfect dart. Begin by identifying the dart point, also known as the dart apex. Next, pierce the pattern using an awl or sharp instrument. Then simply cut out your pattern, making sure to mark the dart notches at the base of your dart legs. It's worth noting that made label patterns have notches that jut out, whereas some other pattern notches may require you to cut into the fabric. Just be careful you don't cut past the seam allowance. If you're cutting a single layer of fabric, go ahead and mark the dart point using a washable pen. Friction pens are a fan favorite. However, if you're cutting double layered fabric, a tried and true tailor's tack is the way to go. To mark with a tailor's tack, you want to thread a needle with a lengthy piece of thread, securing it with a double knot. We will be showing you a pro hack to tie the perfect double knot. First off, tie a single knot. Hold the tail end of the thread past the point you tied the knot. Then guide the needle between the two strands in the space between the knot and where you are holding the thread. Give it a pull and hey presto, a perfect double knot. Back to your scheduled dart tutorial. Next, pierce the dart point. Be sure to go through both layers of fabric. Once that's done, pull the needle through, tie the other end, and then you can snip off the needle. If you're dealing with a multiple dart situation, leave the pattern weights on the darts to stop the fabric from moving while you work. After you have marked all the darts, gently remove the paper pattern. Be extra careful not to pull the thread out during this process. Next, mark the fabric on the wrong side at the dart point. This is exactly where the thread has pierced the fabric. Remember to take care and avoid pulling the thread through either side. This is where the super long thread comes in handy. We have reached the final step in marking the dart. On the wrong side of the fabric, draw a line from the dart point to the notches with a washable pen. These lines are referred to as dart legs. Now it's time to pin the dart legs together, which will create our sewing guideline. Pinching the material at the dart point, fold the fabric right sides together, making sure that the notches at the base of the dart match perfectly. Now it's pinning time. Place your pins along the dart legs. A tip is to make sure the pin head is pointed towards the dart point. This will make removing the pins much easier when you're sewing. It's also super important to make sure your pins catch the marked dart legs on both the front and back sides. This ensures your dart remains perfectly aligned. Once everything is hunky-dory, it's time to hit the sewing machine. Start by lowering the needle into the marked line at the base of the dart. Begin with a back stitch, then sew along the marked dart leg, moving towards the dart point with a standard stitch length. When you're about 1 centimeter or 3/8 of an inch from the dart point, you want to reduce the stitch length to 1.2 and then sew off the end of the dart point. Remember, do not backstitch here. Once you've finished sewing, pinch the dart point while pulling the threads to prevent puckering at the dart point. Also ensure you pull a long thread before trimming. Next, securely tie off the threads at the dart point with a double knot. Remember, do not pull the threads too tightly so you avoid puckering. Then you can trim off any excess thread. While the dart is folded wrong side out, press along the dart legs, but do not press the dart point here. Lastly, grab a tailor's ham, or if you don't have one, use a rolled up piece of fabric. Linen or cotton works best. And press the dart in the direction as instructed by your pattern. Usually, bust darts press down towards the waist, and waist darts press out towards the side seams. And just like that, you've successfully taken a piece of fabric from flat to fabulously fitted. If you love sewing, we've got something to help you plan out your creations. Our awesome and awesomely free PDF sewing planner. Jot down your measurements, hack plans, and supplies for every project, and add your fabric swatches and garment sketches. Use one of our 4 croquis models or sketch on the blank planner pages. It also includes a collection planner for organizing swatches and styling ideas for mini wardrobe collections, and a 12-month sewing calendar. Get all your measurements sorted with our journal and step-by-step video tutorial, which walks you through how to take each measurement. Download your planner for free at madelabel.co/planner so you can get creative and plan out the wardrobe of your dreams.